dump yard, I believe God is showing me certain prophecies to be made on this earth, this great earth. I'm a schizophrenic. God has given me prophecies in our time. Numbers 21:13 were given to me. I'm going to prophesy based on these numbers. People who have ear, let them hear, and who have eyes, let them see it. I'm at a dump yard and I'm a madman.
Is there anyone in the chamber wishing to change their vote? Before the chair announces the vote, expressions of approval or disapproval are not permitted in the Senate. The yeas on this bill are 68, the nays are 32. The bill as amended is passed. No. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander.
The Sergeant at Arms will restore order in the gallery. Sergeant of Arms will restore order in the gallery.
My fellow Americans, tonight I'd like to talk with you about immigration. For more than 200 years, our tradition of welcoming immigrants from around the world has given us a tremendous advantage over other nations. Are we a nation that accepts the cruelty of ripping children from their parents' arms? Or are we a nation that values families?
I'm a brown man, and I humble myself and talk about the mysteries that happened in my life.
God has recorded my life in America as a slave. God gave burden to carry looking at the family separations that happen in America. When my son is born in America, his fundamental right or God-given right to breastfeed his mother's milk in his hometown was denied by a fraudulent employer, and an unevolved immigration system did not help. I wrote to the President of United States at that time, Mr. Barack Obama, and got some replies from him. On June 27, 2013, God has placed poor immigrants who are seeking justice in our time to open our mouth on number 21. The date is June 27, 2013. If you add those numbers, you get to number 21. We were given a minute, that is 21st minute. We were given time to open our mouth to utter as we can at number 21 if you add the times. God has given me the opportunity to talk at the 22nd minute and 7th second to the 22nd minute 14th second on that day. On the 22nd 15th second, Joe Biden had opened his mouth. I also went as a witness to Marlene Travener, who was managing the Affordable Care Act. God made her to send me a thank you note. After that, many incidents happened in my life. I was hunted cruelly as an animal using the most modern technologies. I had recorded them in my book written by myself, The Life and Times of Daniel Prem Kumar Konatham, and it's nothing. I give praise to my God. New and my phone, and he put it in WhatsApp family small group. I was telling my cousin to give this phone to my another cousin daughter for free. And in the conversation, I said, Winnie, don't cry. I'll buy you a phone for rupee 1. And after the conversation, I slept and woke up in middle of night, and I went to a site, indianexpress.com. That was the first time in my life. And I saw a Xiaomi rupee 1 phone. I cried to God and opened Bible to change my name. My original name was distorted in America and was Krishna Prem Kumar. That day, God had given me a new name to be Daniel. It happened strangely. I will talk about it later. One night, I woke up to a dream and searched on internet about something and found Jeff Fridner, who is a former White House policy advisor and a scientist, who wrote an article about Earth 2.0, bad news for God. After that, I spent several days thinking of writing a response. Got another dream of misplaced nuclear codes. I was actually a part of a group in America, and it looked like people were in panic. I opened my Bible randomly and got a verse, Ezekiel 33 watchman, on that was on July 29th, 2017. I logged a message on Mr. Trump's account on Twitter for the word coffee, replying to that message, calling him King of the Earth, Your Highness. I am just a watchman blowing the trumpet in our times. And I don't know why I said that. I also kept one more message delivered by Richard White in 2003, sounding the alarm, Ezekiel Watchman. Earlier, I was not bothered about my dreams or never documented. Here are some of my dreams. I woke up with a date. I was murmuring the date while I woke up in the morning. It was May 1, 1999. I did not know what it meant for, what events that had happened on that day. I was searching on internet for many days. The second dream was I was holding a 1 rupee coin in my hand and spinning it. when I woke up the dream. I was literally holding that coin and spinning it. I don't know how it got into my hand. Another interesting dream was Sachin Tendulkar giving me two gold watches. He was actually putting on my hand. I was telling him, no, I just need one watch. It was actually a gold watch. And when I turned my face all around, I could see many people moving their hands with the gold watches. Another dream where I was having my leg upwards and sleeping on the stomach, and a person came from the sky with a axe with some kind of stick or a sword and beat me on this leg. When I woke up, I was literally having pain in my lower leg. How come this possible? And another dream, a bird is making a loud noise in the church. And another dream, a huge wave hit the place where I was staying. I was running towards the mountain knowing that it won't even help because the waves were bigger than the mountain. And God showed me my life is in his hands. In the beginning of August 2017, I found a strange piece of item on the balcony of my sister's house, and I posted in my family WhatsApp group and was asking what that is, and people said it's chocolate, shell, snake, fish, animal, egg, rock, mixture, crushed disposable material, busted seed, clay, and many more. And finally, it's not that. It's God's creation. It's just a small leaf, but it contains so many white dots. It gave me a good idea and understanding. The next day, I went to the market, and while I returned and climbed the steps to my house, I found a strange wooden needle-like thing. I took it in my hand and praised the God because I thought at the time it would exactly fit at 10:10, 10 hours 10 minutes on an analog clock on my cell phone. When I opened Google and searched for a clock, I zoomed it and put the wooden needle. It did exactly fit in the length of the clock handles and also the angle between them. I praised God and took this to show it to my sister. My sister was saying the time she did not notice the wooden peg. I went back to find any other thing that may be there at that location. I found a small feather in the same place. I don't know how the wooden peg came. Is it someone dropped it? Is it from a bird that actually dropped it? My family is separated from me, and in those days, that's last year, I would call my wife for a few seconds a day. Now it's not happening. She was angry that I destroyed her life. But God is asking me to follow his commandments, and he would unite my family. I went to United States Senate with a burden rose from the law for the people, but unknown people actions damaged my brain. God knows whether they used sonic weapons, whether they used heat ray gun, whether they pursued me by real bounty hunters. God is holding. I think he is trying to show me his works. I need strictly follow his commandments. I wanted to take a picture of the broken clock. Initially, I did not notice the brokenness of one of the needle. I was too excited. But when I noticed it, tears rolled out. It was showing my life as a broken thing on this earth. I wanted to take a picture, and when I opened the Bible randomly, it took to chapter 86 of Psalms. And afterwards, I wanted to take another picture, and now it took to Psalms 98, coming of the God. I don't know what it means at a bigger level. On August 7th, 2017, before sleeping at around 11:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, I read a Bible verse from the Bible app on my phone. It was Revelation 22:5. There shall be no night there. They need no lamp nor light of the sun, for the Lord gives them the light, and then they shall reign forever and ever. I slept for a few hours, woke up around 1:35 a.m. the next day. I saw a light in the sky from one window, and it was not raining, and went to the restroom, came back, and sat on a folding bed, and saw another two lightnings. And I was asking God how miserable was my life. I went quickly, grabbed a small New Testament blue Bible. The room was dark. I opened randomly, asking God for a verse. I turned on the torchlight application on my cellular phone, and I was about to read the verse from the Bible. It happened to be the same verse that I read few hours ago on the Bible app. Within fraction of seconds, the torch started blinking by itself. The state of the torchlight was from 1 to 2. If the torchlight is on and if someone touches the touch screen of the phone, the torchlight stops. But I did not touch that touch screen, but it started blinking. It was a mystery for me. Now I opened the Bible asking God for a verse. God had shown me the verse of working of miracles. I am not much aware of the Bible. I did not know that this verse is there. I am a newcomer to the Bible. It shook me off. And to understand the whole working of this miracle, one has to be a technical computer geek. As I tried to take a picture in the lightning from the outside power station, which was beside my sister's house, when I clicked on the camera app, it again performed strangely. The backside camera of the phone is not working for many days or many months, but the front camera gave a reddish slow motion light. I don't know whether I pressed for the second time, but I did see the second time a reddish slow motion lightning. It was less than for a second. Being a computer guy, I call this whole set of events of the day as a biggest miracle in my life. I call this God had shown me that all electronics are under his control. It was a display of his might, like the dividing waters of the Red Sea. If you look at the timeline with precision, one can see that on August 11, 2017, I went to the rooftop of my sister's place and found several feathers. They are 9 in number. Some were black in color, some are off white and off black, some with blue shades. And in the early morning hours of the next day, that's on August 12th, a thought came in my mind about the relation between, if there is any relation between the number 13 and United States. I did a Google search and I found in Wikipedia that it's made of 13 colonies initially. And I actually did some research and found that the Great American Seal is made up of 13 number of items, like the 13 arrows, 13 olives, 13 leaves, 13 stripes, 13 stars, 13 letters, and so on. It was an interesting find, but 13 brings me tears and frightening in my life. Basically, several years ago, when I was running for my life, when I was pursued by the bounty hunters, I stepped into Guntur railway station, and to keep it short, it's a big story. I woke up with 13 train horns and noticed 13 on my bedside, and also later I found 13 cards in the auto uh, while I was on the run. And I went to my hometown Vishakhapatnam. There I found 13 rocks placed, so of the same kind. So it was a frightening thing for me, and then many events happened in my life. That day, explained to one of my sister uh, about the miracle that God showed me on the electronic equipment. And later, actually, I went uh, to the upstairs, thinking about feathers, and I was shocked to see one interesting feather that I don't know what it was, from which bird it was from. Uh, I came down and I started searching on the internet and found an exact match for an eagle feather. I praised God for giving me an eagle feather. I did not know what it stands for. I searched on internet for eagle feather and the United States, and they have a high penalty for holding this eagle feather in their home without any valid reason. On August 15th, again I was searching on the various countries' seals and the coins, how or what they have on them, on the coins. Uh, and actually in the afternoon I came outside, and I was holding rope that's used for holding for drying the clothes. It was in green color. Then I remember Steve Sicolanti talking about grace with the number 5, and I thought green is the number for green is the color for the grace. As I was holding with my two hands, and it actually uh, snapped in my hand uh, because because of the weather. It became very brittle, and I saw a red uh, thread wound on the green rope. So I thought red is for the wrath. So I was thinking whether the God's grace is coming to an end, and the God's wrath is beginning. On the same day, I went to the rooftop and I noticed a coconut fiber and some seeds in it. So I picked it up, and I did not throw it away, but I came down to my bed and I started counting, and it came to 18 coconut small seeds. So basically what I did was uh, I segregated them into 13 plus 5. 5 represents the grace. And after some time I did not know, I fell into sleep. And while I woke up, I saw only two or three remaining on bed, and everything got scattered. I really feared. I was thinking like, no, God's wrath is at the highest level. I took the red thread uh, and also the few green brittle threads, the small ones, and then I went to the bed and threw it on the blanket. They fell at a place, and then I called up my mom and I told her to count the number of lines on that blanket, and it came out to 13, and I was shocked about that, how it was placed in my timeline. I went onto the rooftop again, and then I was thinking about finding the direction to pray towards Jerusalem. I was thinking about praying daily like Daniel, uh, how we did in the past time. I came downstairs with my phone with Compass 360 installed, and I saw on my bed a pen and a pencil, and then they are pointing towards something. I was saying, God, are you pointing out and trying to show me a certain place on this earth? So I took my phone compass and I actually put a paper under the pen and the pencil, and there was some wire, the charging wire for the phone, and then I drew the lines, and then I used my compass accurately and found the directions. I noted down the numbers. Then after some time I installed Google Earth, and then I put in the coordinates from the GPS, from the compass that I got, and then the Earth started rotating. Uh, that's from the app, and then I was speaking to God in my own mind. God, are you showing something in the ocean? Is something going to happen? Then that rotated and took to North America, and then to a city called Hurricane, and then it stopped in the city called Hurricane in Utah city center. I feared something big is going to happen. I was thinking earthquakes. I was thinking about a big hurricane that's going to come in the timeline. The next morning I went to the restroom and I was pouring water like anything, and then I came out and was talking in high tongue, saying like, God is showing me a big hurricane that never happened on this earth in America. And then actually I researched on city hurricane, and I saw a miracle there. So I was thinking, okay, God actually saved one person from a major accident, and it was really a big miracle escape. On August 23rd, actually I was waiting for some interesting thing to happen on this earth. I was like filled with fear. uh, my cousin's daughter, I call her Winnie, uh, she actually uh, kept an interesting profile of a picture for her WhatsApp. It was a tornado, and also she kept water coming, like a verse from the Bible, when afraid and then down under there is water uh, from the ocean. Then what I did was that day on August 23rd, I zoomed it and said like, when. I captured the when part of it, and the water, and on the profile pic of our WhatsApp there is a tornado. uh, I was expecting a very big hurricane to happen. On August 25th, 2017, I saw a dead mosquito just lying beside my bed, and it just fell down, and it it's in dead state. Uh, then I was asking God, like, what it signifies, and then I opened the Bible to Isaiah 26, uh, Isaiah 26:20. Then I thought something is going to happen in few hours. My brother-in-law was going to office. I spoke to my brother-in-law and said, like, there is a big hurricane uh, that might have actually been in place for America. And I think around 10 o'clock, I saw a news in the Guardian that there is a hurricane. And later, it came out to be a 500-year, once in a 500-year hurricane.